Over the last few days, we've all experienced a buildup in the energies here. Um, there's been a huge influx of solar activity, and that solar energy has influenced our weather patterns, our seismic patterns, our social patterns. This influx of energy is necessary for us to shake out of an old, outdated way of being. Right now, we are experiencing so much unrest in the world because the duality has never been deeper. The separation and duality have never been deeper. We can see it reflected in the socioeconomic divide. And it's extremely noticeable in the United States, but it's also very noticeable all around the world. The same energies that we've been affected by in North America, the whole collective in the world is experiencing this energy on some level or another at the same time. We all have the opportunity to experience this influx of light all over the planet. The energy that I'm picking up right now is that a lot of us in the collective have been experiencing a buildup of energies that are pushing us towards a new manifestation, towards new hobbies, new ideas. New pathways, new relationships, branching out, trying new things. If you've been in the box with your ideas, you're stepping completely out of the box. There is no more box. You finally reached a point where you realize that. So when we look at today's date, it's Monday, February 10th, 2025. And I'm looking at these, I'm looking at the numbers here, 2, 10, 20, 25. You can look at it a bunch of different ways, but I'm seeing it as the number 2, the number 10, and then 2025 is split into two double-digit numbers, 20 and 25. The first thing that I'm seeing is this 2 and the 10. We know that 10 is the number of mastery, and we also know that 2 is a number that represents the duality of emotion and intuition. The goal is to have them be in line with each other, but until we learn how to reconcile duality, it will feel like a contradiction or a conflict. But the moment that we learn to recognize the duality does not necessarily mean contradiction. Duality is an opportunity to reconcile light and shadow, or reconcile polarities of any type. So what I'm seeing here is 2 and then 10. If you want to think about mastery in a linear way from 1 to 10, where each digit, the procession of the numbers are steps along the manifestation process from 1 to 10. This implies that you are vibrating at a 2 energy. From 1 to 10, we've experienced 1, which means that you've already gotten started. The initiation has already begun. But now you're in a space in this manifestation process where you're really taking an opportunity to gain context on how whatever it is that you are creating, or this new path for yourself, or organizing, putting together some sort of a structure or blueprints, plans that will manifest into something, a complete article in the future. Right now is the opportunity to take that idea and put context around it. Before you can really dig into your research and development, you need to understand certain relationships. You need to understand things like cost drivers, or in other words, if there are any costs to this benefit, what are the factors that are driving the cost, and breaking them down, identifying these cost drivers and ranking them by what is the cause and effect relationship between what's driving the cost and the cost. We want to rank these different cost drivers by how strong the cause and effect relationship is between the cost driver and the cost. Use the information that you attain from that analysis to help you decide how much energy, how much resources you want to invest to the problem, or how many resources, how much energy, how much money, how much time, how much focus do you want to commit to that particular cost driver, or would your time or your money be better spent on something else? Prioritizing. You also need to make sure that you're in line with your purpose always. Centering in on a pure motive, the 222 that we're talking about here. And yes, the 222 energy is here. It's from the second month, February, and then also it's in 20 and it's in 25. So we do have a 222 energy that's reminding us to stay focused on the goal here. To stay focused on, let's look at it this way. If you read these numbers from left to right, you have 2 and then the number 10, and then you have 2 again and the 0. I'm breaking it down so that the 22, we separate the 22 into 2 2s and then split that 22 with the 10. So you've got a 2 on either side of the number 10. In other words, 22 stands for the structure or the master plan or the building or the business or the foundation, whatever this structure is that you're creating for a purpose. And this exercise here, we want to make sure that this structure is centered around what is the main idea of this. What is it that really sets you apart as the master of this craft? The craft that you've mastered, that you've decided that the way you do it, no one else does it this way. And you've centered into your own authenticity. You've grown into your craft where you don't need validation from others. You recognize yourself as a master of your craft, but as a master, it's not that you already know everything about the craft. You're a master of your craft because you always recognize an opportunity to keep improving and keep improving. To be a master of a craft does not mean that you know everything and there's nothing else to learn. To be a master of the craft means that you understand the concept of your craft and your ability to center the creation of whatever it is that you create in your craft around whatever the issue is at hand, around your ability to channel whatever feeling that you're feeling, whatever motivation that you're feeling, as long as it is centered in love, as long as it is centered in purpose and service. This talks about your ability to channel any of those feelings, any of those emotions that you're feeling at the time, into what makes this item that you create, what makes you a master of that craft. Whatever it is that makes you a master, you have the ability to channel your emotions into that mastery in such a way to create unforgettable art. When people use your product, they feel your essence. People aren't just using a product, they are experiencing, appreciating what it is that you bring to the collective. It's not about the product that you bring to the collective. When you center around your authenticity and you center around the purpose for creating this item, when people enjoy this service or enjoy or use this item, they are able to feel the energy. They are able to feel your positive contribution to the collective as a whole. So if we were to look at the steps between 1 and 10 as a continuum of steps in order to achieve mastery, 210 implies that you are in the number 2 energy of mastery at this point. So you are creating context. Creating context. You already got started, but now you're taking an opportunity to really survey around you, to build context around the goal here, to help you understand any correlations or relationships, to help you understand all the different groups, because I'm seeing like dividing into different groups and learning how to adapt your service, this tool or whatever item it is, so that it is relevant to each one of these different groups. But at the same time, you're able to see what central need they have in common. I'm hearing when in Rome, do as the Romans do. When Paul said, when I was in Rome, I became Roman. When I was in Greece, I became Greek. It's not that you're being a bunch of different people. It's just that you understand how to adapt your message, your idea, your product, so that people from any place, any background, you have done a masterful job of adapting your product or service in a way that no matter what category or group the person is who is using your product or service, they can feel your heart. They can feel you. They can see you. When they use your product or your service, they are also appreciating you. They can feel how much you care. That's something that's really missing in a lot of the products and services now. You can feel that there's not enough care, there's not enough intention, not enough love built into these products and services. And people are not feeling the love. People are not feeling enough love. If we really are consumers and we are consuming products that are not filled with love and concern or built around an actual concern for whoever is going to be using these products, if we are what we eat or we are consumers and we become what we consume, we are consuming empty products, and empty products cannot fill your heart. This 2 energy is extremely necessary. This is a necessary process of mastery. This is a huge step in mastery. This is the part that's necessary in order for you to know how to apply your love. And also, when I look at 210, I think of 10 divided by 2, which is 5. So 2 goes into 10 5 times. Also, when I look at 210, it makes me think of 2 number 10s, like 1010. And when we look to the right of that 210, there's a 20 there, and we know that 10 plus 10 is 20. So it looks like the numbers here are trying to emphasize as 10, that you're doing a really good job. Congratulations, you're doing a good job. When I look at the number 1010, it says to me, congratulations, you're doing a good job. You're on the right track. Keep going that direction. You're going the right direction. Keep going. And 1010 resolves into 20. So the intermediate goal that we see here when we read this number 210, 2025 from left to right, 210, when we look at 210, 2 to 10, we are already halfway there if we're going all the way to 20, and 20 is the goal. What I'm hearing here is it's not time for you to make a final decision yet. This is not where it ends. You're not quite there yet, but you're getting close. You're doing really well. Don't give up. This is an opportunity for you to really refine the process, really refine, center into your goals, center into your authenticity and your appreciation, because the intermediate goal is going to be 20. When you have enough information, when you have enough context, don't worry about the final form of what you're doing, because as you work it out and you're centering it around your heart, the right motives, and you're trusting, as long as you are centering in on your authenticity and appreciation, gratitude, it will lead you to make the right adjustments. You will be tuned into the frequency of God. You don't have to look at this achievement or this undertaking as a collection of linear steps. This process more involves making sure that as you tune into your authenticity and focus in on the service, focus in on gratitude and appreciation, you will be tuned into the frequency of God, and that will direct you along this series, the collection of decisions, refinements that you will need to make. And 1010 means that you're moving in the right direction. And now that you know that you're moving in the right direction, you need to believe in yourself. You've already done the work. You've already proven yourself. You don't need validation. In fact, a lot of other masters all over the world are looking at your work and appreciating it. There are even other masters out there who are trying to cheat off of your paper, is what I'm hearing. You don't need to feel inadequate. You don't need to feel like you're not good enough, because focus in on your authenticity, because your authenticity imprints your own unique vibration on everything that you create. And there is no other master on the planet that can duplicate your own vibration. That's the reason why it's so important that you focus in, that you tune into your own unique vibration, but that you are tuned into the pure frequency of God that will filter in through your own unique personality and soul vibration. The world needs you exactly the way that you came in here. Protect your work. And I just want to repeat that when you create with authenticity and integrity, that vibration gets captured into the crystalline structure of whatever it is that you are building out of the quantum foam, is what I'm hearing. The way I'm hearing it is, if you emanate diamond light, the diamond energy, frequency, and vibration encodes a holographic snapshot of the most exalted, well-dignified permutations possible in all dimensions. I'm going to say it again. If you emanate diamond light, the diamond energy, frequency, and vibration encodes a holographic snapshot of the most exalted, well-dignified permutations possible in all dimensions. God said to me, "You can praise me with your most treasured works, because my reflection is in your eyes and your reflection is in mine." The next thing that I heard is, you are a divine being. You are the holographic manifestation of the coding that is transmitted through sunlight, starlight, moonlight, phosphorescence, and fire, intentionally imprinted into your crystalline DNA. Then I heard the message, tune into your key, sort of like tuning up a musical instrument. Tune into your key, your unique key, because it is the master key that opens mind, body, and spirit. I heard, my glory is your master key and your strength, your blueprints, your resources, and your authority. Then I was shown a vision that tried to describe the nature of a black hole. And one thing that most people don't think of a black hole as having two sides. But the way that I saw it was that from your perspective right now, when you look out into space and you see a black hole, you're only seeing that. You're seeing that side of the black hole, or you're seeing the black side of the black hole. In other words, it is a mirror image of itself. So you're seeing it from the black side, where things are coming from your direction and going into the black hole. It looks as if the black hole is sucking light into it. But if you were on the other side of the black hole, from what I'm being shown, the light would go from inside the black hole toward you. So from this side of a black hole, the light is coming from your direction and going into the black hole. But when you're on the other side of a black hole, where it looks like a white hole, the light is actually coming from the inside of the white hole toward you. It represents duality. So I was asked the question, if you had all of the information, what that means is what you're seeing from the black hole side of this entity, this dual entity here, you're only seeing half. So there's a blind spot there. Having the ability to see both sides, the black hole side and the white hole side. In other words, being able to leave the matrix. The matrix is a construct. It's a construct, it's a grid that lays over the top of a quantum reality. Reality is not really like the matrix. The matrix was laid over a quantum reality so that we, who are spirit beings inside of a physical three-dimensional body living in a three-dimensional world, would be able to make sense of reality. Without the matrix is a logical grid laid over the top of reality in order to help us be able to understand, have a framework on the nature of reality. But the matrix itself is not reality. Things go wrong when you start using the matrix, which is a tool, as the real thing. The matrix itself was not intended to be a bad thing, but the structure, scaffolding nature of the matrix. Some people that had bad intentions realized that this limiting, sheltering, even controlling, predictable structure, it could be weaponized in order to control populations, in order to harness the energy. In other words, the matrix also, it created a possibility that if you could lower the actual vibration of the matrix, it could cause a lowering and create a dependence on the matrix. If you could create a dependence on the matrix, if you could deprogram a human being's original knowledge of their essence in the spirit. You could possibly lower the consciousness of that being so that they do not have a higher viewpoint of who they are. They won't be able to see the forest for the trees, and they won't be able to see the other side of that black hole, white hole entity, that dual entity. They will only be able to always see it from the direction that they were standing at the moment they were placed in that physical position on the planet. In other words, they are only seeing reality from the limitations not only of their fleshly vehicle, but also they are only seeing reality from the constructs of the matrix, the limiting constructs of the matrix. It's like someone who could never stop using the training wheels, or someone who, anything that you rely on too much to the point where it starts to defeat the purpose of the tool. The tool is to help you learn how to become comfortable, more familiar with who you are, to be confident in your own identity, to be confident in your authenticity, to live in your authenticity. It is not to make everyone cookie cutter believe in the same thing. It's to give you a general idea of how to reconcile those different dualities that are delineated by the grid itself. The lines in the grid on the x-axis and the y-axis of the grid exist to help provide a structure to help you understand the relationships between different aspects of reality within the grid. In other words, it helps you to understand the relationships, and then when you do, it's actually more organic than that. Achievement works on a quantum level. In other words, if you wanted to get information from one side of a crystal to another, the fine structure of the crystal will behave as a virtual wire, and the wire is actually shaped by the intention of the originator of the thought itself to get it from its origin to its destination. It can choose its own path through the crystal to get it to the other side. The crystal represents a very fine matrix that allows for a very structured ordering of historical information. It's such a fine structure that it can hold thousands of years of information in just a small crystal. So the matrix was originally intended to help you to get context. The dualities were placed there. The matrix was created to help you in your human form understand the relationships, correlations, and also what these different categories, groups have in common. Once you realize that, you don't need the matrix anymore. In fact, holding on to the matrix after you've already achieved a mastery of what reality really is, you are doing yourself a disservice. You are doing the world a disservice to keep holding on to a structure that you no longer need. You have now mastered to the point where you are the architect and you are the builder. In other words, this journey from the outside of the crystal, through the crystal to the destination, if the information was to travel, or the light was to travel through the crystal, you are the architect and the builder of that plan. And that also makes you the teacher. You are the architect, you are the builder, and the teacher. of your reality. Once you are able to tune into the God frequency that is only accessible to you when you are tuned into your authenticity, your identity. And these times that we're living in, we're noticing that as time goes on, it seems to be easier and easier for people to misunderstand God's intentions, to misunderstand the signs that God sends, the gifts that He provides, the provisions that God provides. People are missing out. People are not seeing the miracles because their consciousness has been intentionally lowered to a point where they do not have enough perspective on the whole of reality. They can't see the whole of reality. They can't even see the full picture of everything that they have contributed to the reality. What has happened is the Matrix has manipulated the collective on an individual level to force them to keep producing for the benefit of those who built the Matrix. And then after they've gotten what they want from you, they lower their frequency to cause you to lose scope on your reality. Like the size of your reality starts to get smaller, where you really can't see the forest for the trees. You're not able to see that far in front of you. You can only see reality from this side of the black hole. You can't see the other side. What would happen if you were able to elevate your vibration, your frequency, to a level where you were able to see both sides or all sides of the black hole at the same time? How would that affect your choices? What decisions would you make? Now do you understand why it is so easy to misinterpret what God is trying to say? It's not possible to accurately interpret what God is trying to say to you, the way God is trying to lead you, if you're working with incomplete information or false information. If your frequency and vibration are being artificially lowered to a level where the way you are perceiving reality is not true to reality. It's what someone wants you to perceive as truth in your reality, because it allows them to be able to take everything that you've created that you can't even see anymore. You can't even see what's in front of you anymore that you've already created. So the truth is that you're not waiting for someone to rescue you. You're just experiencing cognitive dissonance concerning your limiting beliefs on the nature of manifestation. It was shown to me like this: life is not linear, but humans use lines to help them reconcile the juxtaposition of the event horizon, which would be the 11 quality, and the vortex, which would be the 22 quality. I know that was a lot. It was very heavy, but the way I heard it was, life is not linear, but humans use lines or constructs like a matrix to help them reconcile the juxtaposition of the event horizon and the vortex. So the challenge is for us to reconcile that the event horizon and the vortex, they are not a contradiction. They are a necessary part of the whole. Now the objective is to raise your vibration to a point where you can see both sides, all sides of this black hole, white hole entity. What decisions would you make? What paths would you choose if you were able to see all permutations of the future before you make your choice? So moving forward in this creating process, the last part of the message that I'm getting, moving forward in this creation process, is to be patient with yourself. The reason why it's hard to be patient with yourself sometimes is because of this limiting belief that manifestation is linear. Manifestation is not linear. Manifestation really is as simple as tuning into the frequency of authenticity so that you can channel, so that you can be a pure channel of the God frequency. You can only be a pure channel of the God frequency when you are in your authenticity and appreciation and gratitude. Achievement does not have to take forever, because achievement is not linear. Achievement is reconciliation of the event horizon, which is the concept, understanding the concept. So the trick to manifestation, from what I'm being shown here, is it's in your ability to reconcile the event horizon or the conceptualization of this idea, the conceptualization of this master plan, and putting together the master plan. So I'm thinking of like a master architect when I see the event horizon, this 11 energy, reconciling the event horizon, the 11 energy, with the vortex, which is the vortex represents work. It represents the energy, that toroidal type energy that spins the wheels, that turns the machines, that gets things done. The manifestation is the sum of both the conceptualization and the building. 11 plus 22 is 33. So when we add the 11 and the 22, we get 33. In order to realize the sum of 11 plus 22, or in order this 33 demonstration energy, it requires that we are able to reconcile and appreciate the 11 energy and the 22 energy.